Hey, woman entrepreneur. If every increase in revenue seems to disappear just as fast as it arrives, I think we found the problem. Making more money and keeping more money are two entirely different skills. And one of the fastest ways women sabotage having more money is by matching every income increase with a spending increase. I'm Kendall, and in this episode, we're talking about how to grow your business without growing your expenses, why women keep moving the goalpost on what enough looks like, and how stewardship can become one of the most empowering money skills that you develop. It's all here for you in this episode of the Money Coach School podcast. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Money Coach School podcast. To really excel at coaching women, you have to be skilled, confident, and even fearless at money coaching. If you're passionate about women holding genuine money power and love supporting women entrepreneurs, then this is the show for you. Now here's your host, money feminist Kendall Summerhawk.
Hey, woman entrepreneur, and welcome back to this brand new episode. I am diving right in today. Years ago, my mom and I were talking about the difference between a business that is profitable and one that isn't. And I cracked up laughing because this is what she said. She said, a business that doesn't create a profit is like having a bad boyfriend, the kind who crashes on your couch for weeks, eats all your food, never offers to chip in for groceries or the mortgage. It's all take and no give. Now, it cracked me up at the time, but you know what? That story still holds true today, because one of the fastest ways women entrepreneurs sabotage having more money is by allowing their expenses to increase every time their revenue rises. More subscriptions, more software, more contractors, more upgrades. Yes, sure, some of these decisions are strategic. I get that. Some simply become the new normal because the money is now there. And that's what we have to watch for. Because if every new dollar entering your business immediately leaves the business, something crucial, something critical gets lost. And what's getting lost is your ability to actually have more money and to experience what that feels like. Making more money and keeping more money are two entirely different skills. And today we're going to talk about the second one. Before we do, though, have you joined me on my new Substack, Feminine Money Mastery? Substack is where I am spilling secrets on women entrepreneurs, money, and what women are capable of creating financially. Because women were never taught how to create safety, stability, and wealth. And Feminine Money Mastery is where that changes. I really want you to join me over there. It's free. You can go to kendall-summerhawk.com to subscribe and be part of the conversation. I'll also link to it in the show notes. And again, that's Kendall with a dash, meaning a little hyphen, summerhawk.com. And that'll take you straight to my Substack. All right, so let's dive in, because today we're talking about how to grow your business without growing your expenses. And really, I probably should have titled this episode 3 Truths About Keeping More Money. Realistically, there's like 15 truths, but today we're covering these 3. All right, so truth number 1, expenses will expand unless you intentionally decide they won't. It's as simple as that. Revenue starts increasing, and almost without realizing it, women entrepreneurs begin expanding their expenses right alongside it. Sure, it can feel responsible and like a supposed to reinvest in the business. It feels exciting to upgrade. And often, though, what happens is you slip into feeling like every increase in revenue needs a matching increase in expense. It becomes tempting to solve every problem with another expense. I know, I've done it. It feels like more revenue automatically gives you permission to say yes to everything that you've postponed. Again, I've done it. It becomes easy to justify expenses simply because the money is available. And it starts to seem reasonable that every new level of income should come with a new level of spending. And yes, sometimes a decision to add a service or expense absolutely makes sense. The challenge is that expense growth often happens automatically, while profit, which is where you really want to focus, requires very specific intention. So if every increase in revenue is matched by an increase in expenses, there comes a point where you are working harder without experiencing the benefits of having more money. And it's really a slippery slope. And then your business becomes so expensive to maintain. I'm not going to go into detail here in this episode, but I will tell you briefly that there was a time where my monthly expenses to run my business were well into six figures. Yeah, every month. 110, 140,000, right around there, 125 to 140 actually, every single month. And yes, I was making multiple millions of dollars, but the grind of that, the pressure of that was insane. And it got to a point where I said, you know what? This model is lucrative. I get it. And I am not willing to have this level of pressure anymore. And so I stopped it. And lowered the expenses dramatically. My expenses in my business now are so much lower, like a tiny fraction of a percent lower, but it's taken work and it's taken intention. So the goal isn't simply to run a business that generates revenue. The goal is to run a business that contributes to your life, one that pays you well, one that creates breathing room, a business that contributes towards wealth generation and financial freedom. Now, a great rule of thumb to aim for is as much as 70 to 80% profit before owner's pay, before taxes, and before strategic investments like mentoring. Okay, so 70 to 80% before those other three things are factored in. So if you're running paid advertising, yes, your profit percentage is definitely going to be lower. It's going to be probably closer to 50, maybe 60% profit if you can get it there. That's great. But a typical coaching or consulting business can often operate with 70 to 80% profit before the owners pay taxes and investing in mentoring. That's like crazy profitable. It's fabulous. Now, I love profit because profit creates options, creates stability, creates freedom. But profit rarely happens by accident. It happens because you decide that keeping more of the money that you make is just as important as creating it in the first place. And I really want you to write that down. You decide keeping more of the money you make is just as important as creating that money in the first place. All right, so that's truth number one. Truth number two, many women unconsciously keep moving the goalpost on what enough looks like. Now, this may be one of the most important parts of today's conversation. Many women know how to make money. Yeah, you could know how to go get clients. Far, far fewer have normalized having money, having reserves, having a cash cushion or what I call a money peace account, having profit, having money left over after the bills are paid. So many women live with just enough. And when just enough feels familiar, what happens is you often just recreate it without even realizing. So instead of just enough, you want to know your more than enough number. What is that number every month that is more than enough to cover all of your bills, both personally and in your business? And then you don't want to keep moving the goalpost by increasing what that more than enough number is. Now, this takes intention. It takes entrepreneurial discipline. It takes investigation, evaluation. It takes really listening to, a money mentor like me, to your intuition, rather than getting caught up in what social media is showing you and all the bling and the brands and all that. You have to stay true to yourself. So this takes intention because what once felt abundant quickly becomes ordinary. And that's just the way our brains work. It becomes ordinary. So we lose that sense of excitement, that sense of flair, that sense of, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. We lose that. And it's like, oh yeah, just another regular, awesome lifestyle day. That's how I look at it. And so suddenly then the amount of money that once would have changed everything, it no longer feels like enough. So the coaching question I have for you here is so vital. The coaching question is, how would you run your business differently if profit was one of your highest priorities? Think about that. Would you hire differently? Would you spend differently? Would you delay certain purchases? Would you track your numbers more closely? Of course, I'm a fan of tracking to the penny. Every penny coming in, every penny going out, every month, every day, every month. Would you pay yourself more intentionally? Because the goal isn't simply to make more money. It's not to be on a hamster wheel of pressure, pressure, pressure. It's to become the woman who knows how to have more money. All right, truth number 3 is that stewardship is sexy. Women have been taught that making money is exciting, and it is. It's really exciting. But that keeping money, it's kind of boring. I disagree. Of course, I love having money. There is something incredibly powerful about opening your business account and seeing money there, about knowing your taxes are handled, about having a healthy cash cushion, about paying yourself well. Now, I did a whole episode on Owner's Pay 101. You can check that out. It's episode 123, and I'll also link to it in the show notes. So stewardship is what creates choices. Stewardship is what allows you to run a business that gives to you instead of constantly taking from you. And stewardship is not restrictive. It's not budgeting. It's none of that. I don't really teach money that way at all. Stewardship, to me, is self-respect. And it's one of the most empowering money skills a woman can develop, because more money coming in is very exciting. More money staying, it changes what becomes possible for you in your life. All right, so to wrap up here, truth number 1 is expenses will expand unless you intentionally decide that they won't. Truth number 2 is many women unconsciously keep moving the goalpost on what enough looks like. Don't do that. And truth number 3 is that stewardship is sexy. You want to know your more than enough monthly number. And then my coaching question, once you have that number, my coaching question for you is this. If that amount was consistently coming into your business, would your current spending habits allow you to actually keep it? Would your current spending habits allow you to actually keep it? Because money staying doesn't happen accidentally. It's like I said, it happens intentionally. And if financial freedom is your desire, which I have to believe it is, that's why you're here spending time with me, then your focus can't be entirely on making more money. It also has to include keeping more of the money that you create. It's understanding that stewardship isn't restrictive. Stewardship is actually a direct pathway to freedom, because more money coming in is exciting. More money staying is what makes financial freedom possible. All right, my beautiful soul, if you want more conversations like this, Feminine Money Mastery on Substack is where I'm spilling those secrets on women entrepreneurs, money, and what women are truly capable of creating financially. Because making more money is important, absolutely, but learning how to keep it, now that is power. All right, so you can subscribe for free at kendall-summerhawk.com. Head on over there, subscribe, and I can't wait to connect with you on Substack. All right, I want to leave you with this last thought. You are here for more. More money peace, more money power, more unapologetic wealth on your terms. This is your money empowerment era, and I am so here for it and so here for you. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Money Coach School podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you follow so you never miss an episode. Also, I would so love and appreciate if you would leave a 5-star review. Your review supports women just like you in discovering all of the juicy tips and insights I'm sharing here on how to coach women on money. And if you want to learn how to excel at coaching women on money, definitely go to kendallsummerhawk.com and check out the wealth of money coach trainings that we have for you. Thanks so much for being part of this money coaching movement and for tuning into the show every week.